everybody. Hey, welcome to Living in My Truth. Today is Wednesday night. Let's give God the glory that we made another night, another week. Yes, I have it there. Okay. So, hey, listen. I am so glad to be on, y'all. I thought I had the live on. My crazy butt didn't even have the live on. Tell me that ain't crazy. You know, I'm steady trying to find the live, right? And here I am. I never even had it on. Steady talking. You know. You know, I done lost my freaking mind. So, hey, everybody, this is Tracy Allen, Living in My Truth. Again, I'm excited every time we come on. You know, it is a blessing, you know, to have this live to go, you know, on and on. You know, let's give God the glory for that. I titled tonight, you know, we are under construction. Y'all hear me? We all are under construction. You know, I like to dabble and dig through a lot of old and then add new, you know, because there's so many different ways that you can share and talk about these things, you know. So I'm going to give it up the best way I know how. Y'all know that. You know, we do have some great upcoming guests that will be coming on. You know, I would definitely have it on live, you know, advertising them, you know, to let you know the upcoming guests that will be coming on with some great stories. It's going to be awesome, you know, as it always is. I have to say I would appreciate if anybody can send any type of a donation to Living in My Truth. You know, it doesn't matter how small, how large, whatever you choose to do to help support this. You know, I do need the support. So I'm not, you know, I continuously, you know, add that in every episode that comes on. I'm going to put the Cash App that I use in here. And hey, Winnie, how you doing? Welcome to Living in My Truth, honey. You know, I'm trying to wait for more people to pop up and come on. And actually, girl, let me tell you, I thought I had the live on at 7 o'clock. I didn't. I'm steady on here talking. I never push go live. But guess what? They'll come back if they was there. They always do. And welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. Hey, Debbie. How you doing? Hey, y'all. Living in My Truth. We're back on every Wednesday. But for the grace of God. Hey, Shadia. What's happening? Here y'all come. I tell you, look, girl, I thought I had the live, push go live. I never even pushed it. You know, I crack myself up, y'all. I'm telling you. You know, I'm putting in here my Cash App if anybody, let me write this down. Anyone wants to send a donation it's appreciated. It's appreciated. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay, so I put my Cash App up just in case anybody, who's that? Oh, is that Stevie? Hey, girl. Anybody wants to send a donation? I don't care how small, how big, whatever, is appreciated, and if you can send stars tonight, that is also will be appreciated, just to support, living in my truth. For the next LNMT Awards, that's the Living in My Truth Awards. I can always use, the support, so I can continue to do the things that I'm trying to do. This is a nonprofit, program that I have here. You know what I'm saying? So, for sometimes to do some of the things that I want to do and I choose to do for you, and everyone that watches and tune in to Living in My Truth, I appreciate you. So I like to show my appreciation by having events. So I created the LNMT Award. So I award everyone that comes on and sit on the couch with me or video sit on the couch, and share their strengths and hopes, and bring some positivity and, some good love, care, and concern to living in my truth, which can be you guys. You can always come on or always be videoed on. That's what we are. We grown-ups talking about some grown-up stuff, but we talking about some real stuff, based on drug and alcohol addiction, depression, mental health. All this needs to have discussions and to be heard, because, back then, they didn't do these type of things. We couldn't do these type of things, but today we can. We all grown up, and a lot of us, are dealing with these things, and now we're older, capable of talking about it and getting the proper help for it. My addiction was drug and alcohol. I smoked cocaine, and I tell you, that thing took me on a whirlpool. There's no ifs, and buts about it, At first I thought I was big and bad enough to do it, you know what I mean? All conservative, y'all, all cute with it at the beginning, but guess what? I didn't know that thing was vicious. I did not know that thing was cunning, babbling, and powerful the way I know it today. You know what I mean? It needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed. I'm going to tell you, that thing beat me down, broke my heart, took all my emotions, y'all. I mean, it was just like, it was the worst thing in the world to try to get out and don't know how. Try to stop and can't. You know what I mean? And turn into this beastly monster, Hey Kim, thanks for coming on. Last week, y'all, I was feeling it too, boy. Sometimes this thing get inside me like the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the truth. And when I first got clean, they told me, that I had to get honest, and the truth will set me free, and that is definitely the key. And is one of the number one things that we have to do. We have to get honest with ourselves, if you choose to want this. So it's like, life, for everybody, not just us who are addicted to whatever we're addicted to. Life is under construction, period. This world is under construction, you know what I mean? And, we have to grow, we have to learn how to, get to that gate. You know what I'm saying? And do our God's work, and he chose me to walk this walk, and talk the talk, so I do it freely and openly and don't have a problem with it. Some say, girl, I didn't know you was like that. And some say, I remember when she was like, she was this, she was that. You know what I mean? She used to be this, she used to be that. Well, this is who I am today. You follow what I'm saying? Because I had to accept what is. Let go of what was, you know what I mean? And have faith in what will be. You follow? And this is how I live my life today. I accept what is, You know, the things I've done, it goes right into that serenity prayer, which is my life. You know what I mean? I let go of what was, you know what I'm saying? But I got to always remember what I did, you know. And today I have faith in what will be, you know. And like I said, you know, God chose me to walk this walk, you know, and talk this talk. So this is exactly what I'm going to be doing and going to do. And I hope it educates you all, you know, and you find it interesting to learn about this world, you know, of addiction, you know, and also that, you know, you can always recover from it. You know, a lot of people think they can. A lot of people say, you know, they're going to always be like that. Hey, look, I don't care how long you've been out there. You can recover, you know. So I'm here to tell you that you can recover. You know, seeing is believing, and living is all of it. You know, all of that. You know, so that's why I chose to have the topic today. You know, we're under construction. You know, it's never too late to be what you might have been. I want to say that too. It's never too late to be what you might have been, like what you had planned, what you had, you know, grown up from, to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Hey, Rosalind, you know, and say, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be a nurse, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But through our years of, you know, coming up in construction, we made a mistake, you know what I mean, by having fun, you know, and we chose to, you know, be party animals at the same time, you know, and try these different little drugs. Hey, Teresa, how you doing? You know, and that's what we end up doing, you know, and next thing you know, all of what we, you know, might have been didn't happen, but it still can. You know, again, it still can. It's never too late. When I say never too late to be what you might have been, it's no doubt about that. You know, I have a way of saying things and saying words. Sometimes I just love to hear me talk. I do. I really do. Because once I get the rolling, the thing just be coming. You know what I mean? Because it's all the truth, you know, and it's all for you as well as for me, you know, to know this and to get that message out, you know, for the better. You know, for anybody, even if there's somebody in your life and it wasn't you or it's not you, you know what I mean? It's a loved one, it's a friend, it's somebody that you know. You know, we look at people different once people become these things, you know, the quote unquote drug and alcoholic, you know, or somebody suffering with mental health, you know, or somebody is dealing with, you know, a little psychotics, you know, thing, because drugs can take you there. Drugs can put all these things in you. You know, when they ask, you know, I ask my clients, I say, is anybody dealing with any type of mental health in here today? And they be looking all around like, not me. Doing some of the crazy shit I've ever saw. But I explain to them, it's no shame to surrender in that. It's no shame for trying to get, you know, help on that, because disease will send the pride up so you can stay sick. You know, but before a person that has mental health can deal with drug and alcohol addiction, they have to be, they have to fix the mental health part. You have to get help on the mental health part, you know, of this adventure. You know, it's, who's this, Rosalind Burton? Hey, honey. You say, hi, I love how are you? God bless. I'm good. Hey, Veneer. What's up, honey bunny? Girl, I had a good time with you last week. I'm in here getting it down already, honey. I just told them that, you know, I put this one as under construction, you know, because we all are under construction on this earth. Every living being and person is under construction. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? And everybody go through something. You know, some of us know each other. Hey, Ahmed. Some of us go through things and don't even know that the thing is more than what you think it is. But I was letting them know, Ahmed, that it's never too late to be what you might have been. You know how a lot of us coming up had plans, You know, like we want to be a teacher. You know, we used to talk, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a doctor. You know, and through some of our times as young, we was really believing that and feeling that. But as we matured and got up into these certain ages, you know what I mean? The construction started. Life started changing. You know what I'm saying? Atmospheres started changing. People, places, and things started changing. We started getting into more than what we thought we was going to be getting into. And some of the things was just of drugs and alcohol. And we said, we'll never do that. I never wanted to drink. You know, and I never wanted to do drugs. I was always against it. But once I got to a certain age, what was I think around 13, you know what I mean? And everybody I babysitted kids, everybody that I was around, older than me, because I've always hung around people older than myself. Let me tell you something, they was partying, they was getting it in, so it looked like it was okay. It wasn't too much to be scared of. You know what I mean? It looked like the fun was the fun, which the fun was the fun. You know what I mean? But need I know, nor they, the people that I was around, you know, partying and all that, didn't know that it was a disease that is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And now the construction is out of order. We don't know what time it is no more. You know, so we're definitely under construction because we got to put ourselves back together. You follow again, starting with our higher power, our God, choosing one. You know what I mean? We got to surrender and admit, you know, that we are powerless over drugs and alcohol, the partying, you know, and all kinds of other stuff that we were doing. You know what I mean? The wanting to be what you might have been, you know, wasn't even thought about no more once we got to partying, once we got out, you know, there and just thought we was somebody, the divas, and, you know, messing with the guys, you know what I'm saying, and looking all pretty and doing what we were doing and getting out there in that society. That society is the first drug ever. For me, the first drug ever, because it excited me. I got an adrenaline when I went outside, making people look at me the way that I wanted them to look at me. Not who I was trying to be like others was. You know, that's where my problem lay and lied big. You know what I mean? Because I wanted what everybody else had, but I wanted more. You know, I wanted to be that girl. I wanted to be a dealer's girl. I wanted to have the nice clothes. I wanted to have me a nice car. I wanted all of that. I wanted, when I came around, people knew who I was. You know? Hey, Gordon. How you doing? Yeah, I love to see names that pop up on here, you know, because it's like it spreads around and then you know that you're being, you know, heard and noticed, you know. And this here, construction here, being heard and noticed that Tracy Allen is on a live talking some real stuff, you know what I mean, about drugs, alcohol, what she did, where she been, how it was, with no shame in the game, you know what I'm saying? This is fixing myself. This is where the construction is becoming to build a life for myself. You know what I mean? So I can stand tall and walk in those gates. You understand what I'm saying? And most importantly at all, to be the chosen one to do this from the higher power, which I call God, you know, is to help the still sick and suffering, you know, that don't have a clue and think that everything is going, you know, for them to feel like it's too late, you know, to be what you might have been, you know what I mean? They don't have a clue yet because life is lost with no information and education on what's happening with them, you know, far as using the drugs and alcohol and becoming the quote unquote junkie alcoholics. You know what I'm saying? Some of us are still out there doing the same thing, thinking that it's functional. You know what I mean? But inside them, they know it's not functional. You know what I mean? It's so wicked and out of place. You know, it's hard for us to accept what is and let go of what was, you know, so that we can have faith in ourselves to know what will be for us today. You follow? You get that? You know, for what would be for us today, you know, to find ourselves and understand how this sickness works within, you know what I mean, and the mask wears to hide on the outside. you follows, you know, you got to get in deep for yourself. You got to say, you know what, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. I'm so sick and tired of being drunk. I'm so sick and tired of throwing up. I'm so sick and tired of scratching, itching all over the place. I'm so sick and tired of running. I'm so sick and tired of tricking. I'm so sick and tired of stealing. You know, you got to say, I'm sick and tired of all these things, Lord. How can I stop? Because when I try to stop on my own, this thing just don't work. Somehow, some way, this thing just don't work. You know, because you don't have the information and the education on the sickness of disease called addiction, you know what I mean? To know how to face it, deal with it, and fight it. You know, and this is not something that just come along with this. This is something that you have to understand and realize. You follow? Because today is all out here. It's everywhere. Back in my day, it wasn't too much. It wasn't too many. You know what I mean? But this is why I'm here today, to spread this word, to let everybody know. It's never too late to be what you might have been in by your choice of life. I don't care how old you are, how many years you've been out there doing this. Believe me, recovery, addiction, you are able to recover. You are able to recover. And it's going to be no gain. It will be no pain. It will be no gain. You know what I'm saying? It will be no gain. Yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt physically. It's going to hurt mentally. It's also going to stagnate you spiritually. You know, I know that's what it did to me. I tell you, it knocked God right out my life. And I was raised with God. You know, every Sunday I was raised with a God-fearing mother. You follow what I'm saying? And disease knocked it right out of my life. Society knocked it right to the side till I forgot it once I started doing the things that society offered me. You follow what I'm saying? Just for me to be somebody for everybody else. Ain't that some stuff? You know, I'm so glad that I'm sober today, and I love myself. I'm so glad I could stand up and tell you what I done, how I done it, when I done it, and why I done it. You know what I mean? Because it's set me free of all charges. You follow what I'm saying? In my life, where I don't have no pain from what was. You know what I mean? But I have gain from what is today. You know, which is Tracy Allen. Living in my truth. I love it. I love it, y'all. I love it. I love it. You know, you give all praises is due to God. All praises is due to God. And of course, you know, NA and AA is not a religious program, but the 12 steps are based off of a religious program. You know, so I just take it to another level, and I just let you know. You know what I mean? My God. Higher power is God. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you, you know, when I turned my back, it was the worst thing I could have done in my life. But now I turned it back around, and it's the best thing that I could have done in my life, y'all. The best thing. You know, again, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. You just got to fight the power with the power. You hear me? It's going to take a lot of changing, but it is doable, very much doable. I'm living true. You know, God opens doors for that man. What I'm trying to say is God opened doors. There's no man. There's no hater. There's no evil. And there's no enemy that can shut it. God knows the battle. You don't tell anyone about. That's a fact. When you have a conscious contact. Even if you don't have a conscious contact, he knows what's happening. He knows what's being done. He sees you while no one else did. When you are powerless, admit it. You have to come to believe in a higher power greater than yourself. Getting clean, we have to learn to love ourselves. You know, instead of wanting to escape ourselves. You know, I see them hearts, y'all. So I'm hitting home base somewhere. You know, some people think that they love themselves. You know what I mean? You know, and really on the outside, you show like it's the greatest person in the world. Everything is this, everything is that. You know what I mean? That somewhere, sometimes, somehow, you're always hiding something. Something that makes you not happy. You know what I'm saying? Something that you just don't want people to see on the outside, but you suffer with it on the inside. You know, getting clean, being under construction, is getting honest. Honest got the key. It has the key to open up. Open up and start fixing everything that's broken. That's for sure. Everything is broken. No one gets clean unless they want to. I can assure you that. You know, you can talk this, talk that, do this, say that. You know what I mean? You can't beg them to get clean. You can't shame us to get clean. You can't use reasons. You can't use emotions. Not even tough love. You can't use none of that on us. You follow? None of that. There's only one thing that makes any addict or alcoholic clean or sober, and that's the choice of themselves to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. This is enough. I'm done. And if you're able to say that to yourself, that means you have a fight in you. That means you have a strength that you don't even know of to fight against the disease of addiction. Because trust me, hey Cent, you outside? Trust me, you got to have strength, faith, love, honesty, sincerity. I mean, you got to bring it all out that disease took from you. All these things are called emotions. Love, care, concern. You got to have all this, you know, because you don't feel it when you're down at a rock bottom. Hey, Becky, you don't feel it. You don't even know that it still exists. And on the outside, sometimes, you know, our little functional conservative ones, we can act as if nothing's a problem. And the lie, y'all know how I get when I talk about the lie. You know, one thing I can tell you for sure, an addict is a liar. We are great liars. You know, addiction creates that in us. You know, some of us lied before we became addicts and alcoholics, because I know I used to lie. You know what I mean? But when I became a junkie, I lived the lie. When I became the junkie, I was the lie. When I became a junkie, I didn't know how to tell the truth because the lie had taken total advantage of everything in me. You know, from the first lie I told, I had to tell another one. From that one, I had to tell another one. For that one, I had to tell another one. I told so many damn lies, I got lost in the lies, so I just lied. You know, because disease took my truth. It just swooped it right on out of my soul. It took the truth right on away from me. So I didn't know what the truth meant no more. My lie was the truth. You didn't understand that, but I'm letting you know how it works. You know what I'm saying? It just took my truth, took my love, took my care, took my concern, and all I knew how to do was what it wanted me to do, and that was lie. That was it. That was my conversation. I'm a lie to get some money. I'm a lie to get some food. I'm a lie to get dope. I'm a lie to get whatever I need or whatever I want because the truth is no longer existing inside of me as an addict. Of no concern whatsoever. That has taken my brain, taken my heart, took it without without me even knowing it. Had me become this monster that I couldn't even see. I couldn't even see that I was that far gone. You know, because it took my sight to. It just took it. You know, when I fell in love with that first hit that I ever had off of cocaine, honey, I'm going to tell you, I chased it ever since. That one good hit had me running for the next one. And the next one. And the next one. And need I tell you, I never got a next one. That's the crazy part about the shit. I never even got a next one, but I'm running for it, and I'm doing whatever I gotta do for it. I'm like Shazam. You know what I mean? I'm moving all over the place. At this point, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing whatever the craziness tell me to do. And disease said, "Look, get me some. Feed me. I want it now. Do this. I don't care who you got to go get it from. I don't care if you're stealing. I don't care if you lie to the children. I don't care if you lie to the preacher. I don't care what you do, but feed me. And feed me now." And if I couldn't feed it, it tortured me. It whooped me like I was in chains. You know what I mean? Tore me up. I call it the master. That's what I call addiction of disease. The master. Disease is cunning, baffling, and baffling. And it had me in chains, y'all. It had me in chains. It was nothing I can do. Nothing I can do until I hit the bottom and said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I need help. I need help. And again, I don't care what you said to me when I wasn't interested. You know, you could beg me, you could shame me, you can do whatever you want. It never touched a drop in me. Nothing. Nothing. This thing is cunning, baffling, and power. It's crazy. It is crazy. Up until it became my choice to do it, is when it got done. It's when it got done. You know, I had to get down on my knees and say, God, if you could help me this one last time. And it took a lot for me to get on my knees. It took a lot for me. I had help with that. You know, I had my cousin LeBert Todd, who helped me get down on those knees and explain to me what prayer was. You know, I called my sister and explained to me what prayer was. You know, I had a tag team at this point. You know what I mean? That kept just giving me all the good information and the feeling and the love. And sometimes I felt it and sometimes it tingled. You know how you lose the flow in your hands and they start tingling? You know what I mean? My body started tingling because a part of me that I didn't know was me still left in there started revealing. It started revealing through all the darkness of disease. You know what I mean? Through everything that it took from me. My sight, my hearing, my looks, my love, my children, my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, the world. It just took everything from me. So it was too much to try to get out on my own, but would help allow me to get it 1 second at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time. You hear what I'm saying? And all that became 1 day at a time. Golly, that was nice. I never used that before, but I tell you, it came out exactly the way I meant it and the way I felt it. You follow what I'm saying? Because that's how our lives live today. That's what we have to learn today. We have to take every second of the day to live. You understand? To keep ourselves in the right direction and know that our higher power is there for us. You know, and under the influence, you don't feel none of that. Everybody out here having all this fun and drinking and all that stuff. Get sick afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Pores go through the pores of your body. You know what I'm saying? You don't even smell yourself. You can't even smell yourself, but you can walk up on me and I can smell alcohol. I can smell drugs. I can smell weed. You know what I mean? Because the senses in me now has been clean for quite some time, and the brain allows the senses of me to know what's what. You know, under the influence of drugs and alcohol, you lose all that. You don't get none of that no more. It's gone. That's why you can't smell it. That's why, you know, you can't see it. You know what I mean? You might can see it in somebody else, but have you ever really sat down and and check yourself out. And everybody throw on that perfume and throw on that cologne. You know how you go in the bathroom, use the bathroom, it ain't smelling good, and you spray it. It mixes up, and you can still smell some of the spray. You can still smell some of the poop or whatever you did. You know what I mean? That's the same way it is with people who drink and people who get high. You know what I mean? And try to spray it all up, you know what I mean? And sweeten it all up with perfume. You follow, and you sure can't hide it physically because it tears you down. It makes you not see what we see, you know, or what somebody else can see and look at you. You know what I mean? How your eyes brown up and how your eyes get red. You know what I mean? How your skin get crazy looking dark. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that we don't see. We can't see it, but we still look at ourselves and see beauty. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, wow. I used to do the same thing. I weighed 82.5 pounds, and you couldn't tell me for a second that I looked like a skeleton. Ain't no way. You couldn't almost make me believe it. You hear what I'm saying? You couldn't make me believe that my skin looked dark. You couldn't make me believe none of that. Disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. I'm going to say it again. It's cunning, baffling, and powerful. Definitely is. So it's a lot. Y'all know me. I'm going to jump from one and jump for this. You know what I mean? But I'm going to get back on track. You follow what I'm saying? Because I don't go off. I just get the feel in this thing, and it just comes the way that it comes, and I don't stop it. I just let it come out, because sometimes I amaze myself with some of the things that I say. Trust me when I tell you that. You know, a lot of this is based off the third step, too. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. You know what I'm saying? When we get there, you know what I mean? We're ready for all of this. We're ready for the challenge of the battle. You know, we think about, you know how, we thought we couldn't do anything in life. Now life is over, it's done. You know what I mean? Look at me now. I'm never going to be nothing. You know what I mean? I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed. Not when you get in recovery, honey. You get them 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholic Anonymous. It allows you to accept that. It allows you to accept the things that you can't change and change the things you can and have the wisdom to know the difference. Because guess what? We was living out of a world of a terrible, terrible disease that, again, I'll say is cunning, baffling, and powerful, and you didn't even know it, and we had no control of it. We wanted to get out, but we just didn't know how to get out. I talk about that tunnel again. You know, going in that tunnel, it was great. Getting stuck in the tunnel was the problem, and trying to get out of it was worse. You understand? Because we couldn't do it by ourselves until we come to realize that. You follow? And we had to have help to get out, but our prides, our dignities, you know what I mean? The mask and the face and the belief that we still were strong and we got this wouldn't allow us to get through that tunnel. It wouldn't allow us to get through that storm. You know what I mean? But all along we seen the hole to get out, but every time we got closer, something drawed us back. And it was like, what the hell? What is going on? How come I can't stop this mess? How come I can't stop getting high? I'm still dependent on me when I don't even have me anymore. My soul is gone because disease got it. This thing got it that I never knew nothing about. This thing got it until I had to go to rehab. When I went to rehab, nobody never told me about a rehab. I ended up hearing a rehab through detox. Hear me out, through detox. My second mom, Miss Sarah said, you need to take your butt over Better House to the rehab. Y'all hear me? What rehab? You know, they saw me coming into detox. Every time I got down, every time it got cold, every time I had nowhere to go, I admitted myself in detox. You understand what I'm saying? The same way the addict and alcohol do in the rehabs today, because there are plenty of rehabs for you today, but back then it wasn't. And that's the first time I ever heard about a rehab. And she signed me up for that rehab. She signed me up for that rehab, and God bless the night of that storm when I walked to that rehab and bammed on that door and asked them to let me in, and they were supposed to take me over to the emergency room. They didn't even do that. It was a man called Doc Watson. Doc Watson opened that door, looked down on me. I thought I was looking at a black Sammy Davis Jr. I promise you, y'all, he looked like Sammy Davis Jr. in a cowboy outfit. If anybody know of Doc Watson, you know what I'm talking about. That man had on big cowboy boots, a big cowboy belt, and a big cowboy hat. You know, as skinny as I don't know what. And he looked down on me and said, I'm going to let you in here tonight. Because that storm was way up here. I walked up there, girl. I had on this little red Michael Jackson jacket, my little Vanderbilt jeans, you know what I mean? And my little salt and pepper boots. Remember them? The little salt and pepper boots? I had yellow ones. You follow what I'm here with? One of them little Eddie Murphy hats on. Cold, messed up, and we all, as an addict, always got a bag or a book bag. You know, we always got a bag of something to carry nothing in. All we carried in those book bags was drugs. All we carried in there was a bunch of drug bags and the pipe, you know, and sometimes we use ink pens because we can make a pipe out of any damn thing. We geniuses. We can make it to get high, we get high. We gonna make something to make us have a pipe. I don't care what it was. And all was in there was my works. You know what I mean? I had no clothes, I had no money, I had no toothbrush, I had no toothpaste. The way I packed today ain't go away. None of that. All was in there for me was works. Was works. And he let me in that place. And he never took my bag. He never took my bag because he said, now, I don't know come morning if they're going to let you stay here. He said, because your name got to be on the list. And I said to him, I was crying to this man, please let me in. I ain't had nowhere else to go. My mom shut the door at this point. When she shut the door, that was my rock bottom. And that was 3 months before I went to rehab. Okay, so I played around for a while. I was out there for a minute. You know, these stinky smoke houses and, oh man, they all was just tap a pit. Oh, it was disgusting, you know? But guess what? I ain't look at all that. I ain't care what it smelled like. I ain't care what was going on. All I knew was I had a place to be. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do what I had to do to stay there, and that was to bring drugs in there. You know what I mean? And get high, so I had to go out on the street and do what I do and became what I became. You know what I mean? Tricking, doing all the shit. You follow what I'm saying? Thinking I'm hiding, thinking I'm sneaking. You know, so for the some that said, I never saw you, well, I guess not. You wasn't up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning outside on the street. Some probably saw me on the way to work. You know what I mean? But, God bless me that I didn't have to go out and trick on the street because it was too many police. It was too many people that I knew that was tricking me any damn way. You follow what I'm saying? And they know who they are. You know, today, some not even living today. You know, got high with a lot of them. You follow what I'm saying? But when it was done, it was done. Get rid of you, kick you out, and then that's all you got. So you got to go around and see where else you're going to stay. So you'll find these houses where you can get high. You're going to find the people, because everybody that's out there, we all out there doing the same damn thing. We all out there trying to get together. I don't care what it is. I done been picked up by people I don't even freaking know. I can't even remember them. You know what I mean? To this day. But for the grace of God, and I give God the glory that nothing happened to me, and I'm here to be able to share this story with you and tell you about this story with no shame, no game, all truth, because today I live in my truth, you know, and I know why I did the things I did. I know that I was under drugs. I know I had a disease today. Now I could tell you that's cunning, baffling, and powerful. And I thank God that I found out that's just what it was, because that's not something that I would have just done. Huh. Woo. Hey, Bev. Girl, I'm feeling this thing. Definitely feeling this thing, you know? And today is no shame. There's no shame to the game. It's acceptance. You know what I mean? It's acceptance, you know? And I still see people that I used to get high with that's still getting high. I pray for them. I pray for them so much. You know what I'm saying? And I still tell them, hey, look, it's never too late. It's never too late. You know? Come on. Let's get fixed. But disease is stronger than me. when you don't have the desire to get clean. But I know seeing me is inspirational to them. You follow? Because she bounced back. She's back now. Now I'm fighting against what took us, you know? What took us from our souls, what took us from our minds, you know? Just captured us and made us become this slave. You know, it's the master. You follow? It's the master. And anybody, I don't care how long you've been getting high, recovery is possible. It is no ifs and buts about it. Recovery is possible if you're willing. If you're willing to get it and get it right, it can be done. There's no doubt about that. You got to start surrounding yourself around with people who wants it too. You know, you got to change more than complain about everything. That's what we do. We start complaining about everything when we try to get clean. Oh, this ain't gonna work. This is that. This is it. Sit down. Shh. You need to learn how to listen so that you can hear. Then you'll start seeing. That's why I share that all the time. I did the same thing. I ain't listened to a lot of shit because I wasn't interested. Once I got feeling better and that nightmare night was gone, I ate, I slept. You know what I mean? You know, them jokers woke me up about 5 o'clock in the morning talking about you the newcomer, so you got to mop the floors. And y'all know I wasn't trying to hear that. Mop floors? Shit, I'm just getting to sleep. You got to fight cocaine to go to sleep. You just don't go to sleep. You be feeling all kinds of stuff. I can't even describe the feeling to this day. It felt like stabs, worms, bugs, things biting you, hearing things, scratching. You can't stay still. You got to keep moving. You know what I mean? Hell, that snow slowed me down. But once I got in there and tried to go to sleep, disease said, hell to the no. You think you're going to stay here? No, you're not. You're going to get up and you're going to leave because that's just what I felt like doing until I fell asleep. And but for the grace of God, I don't even know how I did that, but I did. And they woke me up about 5:30 in the morning. Man, I woke up snapping. I ain't doing SHIT. I ain't coming here for this. This ain't mine. Doc got to work 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Doc came in there and said, if you don't get your black ASS up, because see, back then, they didn't play at all. You know, I'm going to put your little butt out of here now. Kind of shut me down a little bit. I said, I ain't got nowhere to go. You know what I mean? Tired or not. That's something in the mind and something in the soul just said, Tracy, just get up and scrub the floor. So I'm mad. I'm acting like a little kid be mad because, see, that's where our minds go. We be swearing we grown and we this and that, but we think like children. We think like little kids. You know what I mean? And we swear we don't. We swear we grown, but we act like little kids. If it's cookies that we got for treats and it wasn't no more cookies and I didn't get mine, man, I'm snapping. You know what I mean? I'm feeling real bad because I didn't get my cookies. You know what I mean? At that time, a 29-year-old woman, you know what I mean, trying to get some freaking, mad because she can't get no cookies or she can't get no milk. You follow what I'm saying? Oh, it's crazy. You follow? But I got up and I scrubbed them floors. You know what I mean? And you couldn't go back to bed. You can't go back to bed until it's time to go back to bed. And that's at 9 o'clock at night. So you got to go up. Now they're telling me I got to go to these rooms and I got to go to these meetings and stuff, in the rooms. All this stuff was new to me. I'm telling you, I'm getting mad. I'm going crazy because my mental health now is starting to explore. You follow what I'm saying? That's why mental health, getting high and drinking and all that can cause mental health. You know what I mean? Mental health at different levels. You know what I mean? Now my mental health and my anxiety is all over the place because I don't want to be here. I want to get high. I don't want to get put out. You know what I mean? I got a plan. I want to get my welfare. I want to get my food stamps. You know, as long as I get to that point where I can get that, I ain't got to worry about them, because me, I feel like I'm kissing their ass. You know what I mean? And the whole time they're just trying to help me to gain my consciousness back. Help me to know that I have a brain up here that has been captured by a disease of addiction. And I did not understand that. And I did not see that because I was sick. And I was really sick. I was like in the ICU sick. You know what I'm saying? This thing is vicious in your mind. You just in ICU. You know what I mean? Trying to get out, trying to breathe, trying not to do this, trying to do that. You know what I mean? Trying to make sense. It's like, help me, help me. You trying to get out, and that's that storm in the tunnel. You know what I mean? That's not allowing you to comprehend all these things, but it's disease on the other side saying, I got this, I got you. You know what I mean? Where was I? I was right with you when you needed me. I was with you when you had to get that dope. I'm the one that led you to it. You know what I mean? These people ain't in here to help you. They in here to tell you what to do. You know what I mean? And ain't nobody telling me what to do. You know, the grown child, that mind that I have at this point. You know what I'm saying? Everybody telling me this and everybody telling me that. Now I'm mad. These voices is all over the place. But the most powerful one stood in. You know, you're the most powerful one seen all of this in me. You follow what I'm saying? I just didn't see it because I had not yet surrendered. I had not yet gave in to even want treatment. You know what I mean? I had a plan, not for treatment. I had a plan to get my money. I had a plan to get my food stamps and my medical card. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I had a plan that I was going to go back and give it to my mom and all that stuff. And disease was making me believe that that's exactly what I wanted to do. Ha. Really? I would have spread the money all out again. Well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to give her this, and I'm going to do this with that, and I'm going to make sure that the kids, my boys got this, you know what I mean? I'm just going to take this $40 right here, because it was only $140-something any daggone way back then. You know what I mean? I'm going to take this $40, and I'm going to spend this $40. I'm going to get high with the $40 on myself. And guess what I did first, y'all? I really meant I was going to do that, though. Stuck in the tunnel. Seeing the hole to get out, you know what I mean? But the storm is still in front of me, but it calmed down a little bit, like I was going to walk through it and do just what I was supposed to do. Every time I made that plan was every check day. You follow? Every check day I did the same thing. I said the same thing. You know, disease said, this is what I'm going to let you do. All right, I'm going to let you believe that this is what you're going to do, but you don't know how powerful I am yet. This is what it's saying to me. I just don't hear it. You know what I mean? I don't get it yet. I don't grasp it yet. You know, this is why you always have to be aware of the voice, you know, and I would make plans that I meant in my heart that I was going to do, but I always kept that 40 for myself. You hear me? I always kept that 40 for myself. And I always got high first. Because when I left the bank, I had to go through the valley. You hear what I'm saying? To get to mom's house. I had to go through the storm. I had to go through the tunnel. I'm in the tunnel. I got to get through this storm, you know, to get out on the other side to get mom the money. You know, but the storm I couldn't get through. Because once I hit that 40, and that 40 was gone, it went down to 90 to my mom for the kids. Then it went down to 80. Then I figured out a way how I'm going to do this, so I'm just going to give her 50. You follow? And the whole time, I'm getting high, chasing a high that I don't even feel. All I feel is the chase. This shit is crazy. It's real. It's crazy. I ain't lying. I'm not joshing you. This thing is cunning, baffling, and powerful. I tell you, cunning, baffling, and powerful. But in my heart, I'm telling y'all, I really believe that's what I was going to do. And when I got high and I started chipping into the other money saying, well, I'll give her this. She ain't going to be mad as long as I give her something. This is what disease would tell me. As long as I give her something, it's going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that. I really believe that. Disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. This thing is a powerful voice. This thing is a powerful controller. You know? You don't even know yourself. It helped me convince me and made me feel like I was convinced because it controls my emotions. You follow what I'm saying? It controls the emotions. Don't forget, it pulled it all out of you the day that you love the drink and you love the drug. You know what I mean? You just didn't know that it was pulled. You understand what I'm saying? And then that's when you become the puppet. So it can have you do whatever it wants to do. Remember we used to take our dolls and walk the legs and all that kind of stuff? It had that type of control. You know, I try to say little scenarios so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Because it's real. So if your people is acting this way and your loved ones is saying these things and doing these things, they mean it. They just can't do it. And the lie that we become, we're telling the truth. But the truth is a lie. And it's some sick shit. It's some real sick stuff. I thank God today that I have my sanity back. I thank God today that I surrendered. I thank God today for the sick and suffering that got clean to help me get clean. You know what I mean? For every one of us to get clean is to help another one get clean. You know, because we have to share our strengths and hopes. And I'm so glad that I walked in that rehab. I'm so glad I went through everything. Matter of fact, I'm just so grateful. I ain't even going to say glad. I'm so grateful that I went through all of that to get right. I went through all of that and had to go through all those people, you know, to get the understanding of just my own little old self. You know, and to know that I was sick and suffering with a sickness that I had no idea existed, you know what I mean? And broke me down to a point where I couldn't think. It controlled my thinking. It controlled my thinking, y'all. So if your loved ones is acting this way, it's all a part of it. It's all a part of the disease. They don't have no control. For the still sick and sufferings that you see out there that's out in the street, y'all, you know what I mean? That some of us look at like that's a shame, or we could walk right by and say, man, them jokers gonna die out there in the street. That's the worst thing in the world you could say. That's the worst thing in the world you could say. It'd be shame on you. You know what I mean? God want us to love. You follow? That's a number one. You know, to love thy brother and sister, thy mother. You know what I'm saying? Those people out there are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, dads, moms. You know what I'm saying? Who's lost in a devilish world called disease. You know, stuck, suffering. And we look at them like nothing. We look at them with shame. When we should be looking at them, praying for them. You know? Change is in everyone. All of us are under construction. And this is why I decided to share about being under construction. Because it's just not the sick and suffering. It is the living as well. You know what I mean? It's for us who don't have enough in us to say, you know, God, let me pray for these people. You know? And then be over top of their bodies crying. You know, when it comes to a funeral, everybody has something to say, but nobody done nothing. Everybody gave up. And I'm not saying it's you. The shoe fits, wear it. If it don't, let it fly. You follow? I had to live that life too. You know, in recovery. If they told me the shoe fits, wear it. If it don't, let it fly. Because ain't too much was any different than anybody else that was in there. And I was trying to make myself better than the rest of them, you know, from the life that I lived before I became an addict. You hear me? I don't do that today. Today, I'm in my peace. Today, I'm still striving for peace. Today I have the wisdom to know the difference. Today I have a higher power greater than myself. Today I have love in my heart for the still sick and suffering and any and everybody, all the things that's going on in this world, y'all. You know what I mean? Because God said we should love. And I'm trying to live in my truth. And it feels damn good. So when you see these people that you know have changed in front of you, I hope that I'm giving enough information that you can see through the disease and know that they're inside, struggling, really want to get out. They just can't reach us because this disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. And it won't allow us to. You know, so people who wants to change, more than just, like I was saying, sit around complaining, when times get rough, you have to choose which of what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? To choose your choice, to make a choice of what you want to do is easy, but to do it is not. Basically is what I was trying to get out. People who fight in disease, this will be the beginning. When you make the choice, will be the beginning of your change and your life of recovery. Again, we are all under construction. Healing isn't always beautiful, but it's always worth it. Some days in recovery, when you start learning how to listen so that you can hear, God is going to send everything your way of what you need. You just have to be open, willing to accept, So come from willing, it has to become accepting. You know what I mean? And you have to be willing to accept things that people are going to throw upon you. You know what I mean? What they're going to say, they're going to tell the truth. They're not going to BS you. You follow? And don't forget that the disease of the power of disease will always be within, and when you start, getting honest and listening to what's being said, and you start learning to what you're actually dealing with, but you have to come to believe that this is really what's happening. That's basically what I'm trying to say. And your peace becomes, once you get it, your peace becomes non-negotiable with nothing. Nobody, no place, no things. You follow? You can match it or move on. If you can't match where I'm at, move on. Because I ain't got no room for you. I got to fight this beast. And it's a whole lot. And it needs all of me. Not some of me. It needs all of me. Because don't forget, I'm a broken puzzle. Broke up in all kinds of pieces. And I got to get those pieces back in the right places. To present this, the picture of who I really am. Before drugs. Doing drugs. And now that I don't. Picture is beautiful. I love me. I love me in any way, shape, or thing, or place. You know what I mean? Of everything about me. I love me for what I've done. I love me for who I become. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what people think. I don't care what people say. I pray for people. You know what I mean? I pray for people because I have to pray for me and keep me right, because I'm under construction, as well as you're under construction, and all of us are under construction. So I have to have the wisdom to know the difference of all of this, so I know how to deal with people. So this is why I pick and choose the people that I want to be around and the people that I don't need to be around. You know what I mean? I don't have to be out there in the society no more. I don't have to be around certain people no more. I need to be around people who's doing the same thing that I'm doing. You follow what I'm saying? And that's what makes it smoother. It makes it easier, and it makes me make the right decision. For me, not for you. For me. You know? I have many friends. I got friends. I got associate friends. I got girlfriends. You know what I mean? I got wannabe friends. You follow what I'm saying? You know, I have people that I think of, and I sometimes think are my friends. You know what I mean? But friends love. They love each other. Friends don't get angry at each other and can't talk about things. Friends surrender if they right or if they're wrong. You know what I mean? You can jump up and know when you're right, but when you're wrong, you don't want to hold yourself accountable. You know what I'm saying? I understand all this. So a friend to me is just like a person who's just like me. A friend to me is going to be honest. A friend to me is going to have God in their life. A friend to me is going to accept the things they can't change and change the things they can. And most importantly, to have the wisdom to know the difference. And don't allow the mask to make you think that you're okay with me. Don't allow those masks that you wear make you think that you got me. You follow what I'm saying? Because I pick and choose who are going to be my friends. I know what a friend means to me. You know what I mean? And if you don't fit the qualification, it's okay. You just be a homie, and I'm glad, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But a friend is different. A friend is something else. You know what I'm saying? A friend is more than a homie or just a girl. You know, this is my John. This is my girlfriend right here. This is my buddy. You know what I mean? A friend is my sister. A friend is a person who's going to understand me. They're going to hear me. They're going to listen to me. You know what I mean? They're going to tell me what, you know, put me deep. They're going to tell me what's good. They're going to tell me what's bad. They're going to tell me when I'm right, and they're going to tell me when I'm wrong. A friend is able to talk to you. You know what I mean? And you don't get upset, and you don't get mad. You don't forget a friend. You can't be a almost friend. You can't be a part friend. A friend is a friend. If I love you that much that I call you my friend, that's because you fit my qualifications. And it doesn't matter who don't want to be my friend, because I have enough. But if God send more, I open the door to see just what he's sending. And he never sends me nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I've learned. That's what I've grown, is how I feel. You know? And it doesn't matter who don't understand that. To be honest with you, I understand every word I just said. You know what I mean? Because I can accept things that I can't change. I can change things that I can. And I have the wisdom to know the difference. You know? So eye to eye, for me, is very important. You know, loving you, you know, how I love you, I expect for you to love me back that way. You know what I mean? You know, but to do things that are, you know, just selfish, you know, on your behalf, and I suppose to accept it, is just like my disease telling me, look, sit down, because I want you to do shit this way. You're going to do what I say, when I do, how I say it, and when I say it, and shut up, and you just take it. You know what I mean? I think like a recovering addict. I think like God's child. I'm trying to make changes the best that I need and how I can, you know, by my giving my life to him, you know, and soldiering for him through this life of drug and alcohol addiction. You know what I mean? I'm still Tracy. I'm just a better Tracy, that's all. You know what I mean? I'm just a Tracy who loves herself more than she ever loved herself before, and still loving on her more. You follow what I'm saying? I'm just a Tracy that knows how to make choices today. I'm a Tracy that can see through a lot of bull. I'm a Tracy that can see that disease is always around me through the people, through the places, and through the things. And I have to make wise decisions that what works for me, you follow, that what I need. I need to hang with the winners. I need to hang with the real people. I need to hang with a person who's doing the same thing that I'm doing. And you don't have to be where I'm at, and you don't have to have done what I've done, but you are under construction. And we all under construction. And you can't look at me no different than you look at your freaking self. You know what I mean? If you're trying to fix yourself and live in your peace. That's how I see it. Now, I don't know who agree with that, but that's how I feel. Hey, Jack. Hey, Mayor. I don't even know how I got to that part, but it got in there. It got in there. Recovery is proof that hope is real. You know what I mean? Definitely for that. And you heal, you learn, and you grow. You set boundaries. That's what I was just talking about. You step. You stop settling and always put yourself first. I put myself first. I am a good person. If I'm good with you and I'm loving you and I'm calling you my boy, my friend, and all of that. Let me tell you something. I give my all. I do. I give my all. But when I see that I'm kicked and I'm kicked down and you don't see what you done, well, I think that's something that you have to fix for yourself. Because you already know that I give my all. And if I fall back, something's wrong. Because I can't say it to you now is because Trey is feeling it. I keep her in remission. She stays in remission until I can level it out. You follow? And be able to come rationally and talk. But in the same time of missing my presence, you freaking know something's wrong. You freaking know something's going on. And the first thing that disease or the devil will make you say is, well, I don't know what's wrong with her. You know what I mean? Hey, well, I'm going to just go ahead. The longer it takes is the longer it's going to take. When the space is in the middle, that means that it's at dis-ease. D-I-S/E-A-S-E. I'm a sick person. I have a disease that's cunning, baffling, and powerful. You follow? So it might take me time to actually put this thing together. You know what I mean? And how I want to present something to somebody. You follow what I'm saying? I treat this thing like recovery teaches me how to think. It teaches me how to be honest. It teaches me how to be humble. It teaches me how to accept things I can't change. It teaches me how to change things I can and have the wisdom to know the difference. So if somebody has to be let go or somebody has to, be my choice to let them go, well, that's what it has to be. In the level that I have you in my life. That's what I'm speaking on. So I have to lower the level. You follow? I have to lower the level. And I'm okay with that. I'm very much okay with that. But it's not that I don't love you. You know what I mean? It's just not the type of people that I choose to be around. Who are self-centered, selfish like I was. But only reason why I was that way is because I did drugs. You know what I mean? So it's not always drugs and alcohol. It's because we're under construction. And we have to see these things in ourselves. We have to learn these things with ourselves. We have to know that we're not right all the time. You know what I mean? Everybody, are not the only one that want to feel love. Or you're not the only one that has to do more than what you'll do for me. See, those type of things can affect the addict. It can affect, a person in recovery. Because that's how disease works through people. That's how it works through people. This is why you never say that you're, I don't have a disease anymore. Really? And to each his own on that too. Disease is forever. It's always, because disease is made. It was made by you. And it can only be destroyed by you. Because it is you. I hope you understand where I'm going when I said that. Hey, KK, Alvera. Let me say that. You know, that's when you know you change. You know, when you start doing things, thinking about things before you do them, you know, and you start making rational decisions and honest decisions and deal with your feelings. You know what I mean? Because don't forget, we deal with mental health, we deal with psych, we deal with depression, we deal with, you know, addiction of disease. That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot that we got to know that we are. You know what I mean? And we have to learn how to balance it all. You know what I mean? And see and hear and listen and know, you know, that we have this sickness that has created this in us. You know what I mean? And have unbalanced us. You know what I'm saying? And now we're trying to be balanced again. And the remedy for that is just to be honest. The remedy to that is just to tell the truth. The remedy for that is to know that your high power is there and there at all times. And that is my best friend. That is the most powerful friend, loving friend, honest friend, understanding friend that I ever had and that I can ever have. You follow? I know this. I feel this. I come to believe in this, and he shows me this all the time. All the time. So it makes me weary about human people. It makes me worry about the people, places, and things that I be around today. Things that I didn't used to see that I'm aware of now. And I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. You know what I mean? And I'm still learning. Don't think that the rain ain't still pouring, because it is. I think it's in all of us. You know what I'm saying? In some way or another. You follow? But you got to know what your rain is. You got to know how strong the storm is. You know? I know I'm learning mine, and I know mine has been keeping me very well on top of my game for as long as I follow that 12-step of Narcotics Anonymous. I know you know I wasn't leaving that out. You know what I mean? That's my medication. I got to go take some. You know, when my levels start coming down, I got to take my medication to bring it back up. You know, it's like a blood pressure. You follow what I'm saying? You don't want it to be high. You want it to be neutral. You want it to stay steady. You follow what I'm saying? That's my life. That's how I live my life today. And I ain't crazy. I'm definitely sane. Believe that. You saw crazy, but you don't understand the sane of me. You follow what I'm saying? That's the thing that blinds people. They still see and hold on to what was, but they can't understand what is. You know what I mean? And that's for them to deal with, because I do. You know what I mean? I'm going to always stay on this. I'm going to stay on this. You know what I mean? I'm going to always have that higher power, you know, before anybody. That's husband, sister, brother, mother, children, grandchildren. Because if I don't, I won't have nothing. I will lose it all. I won't be able to love on you or to understand you or to deal with you or to accept you. You know what I mean? I have to have the love and all of that in me, so I'm able to share all of that with you. Because I'm the sick person. Because I don't look sick don't mean that I'm not. Because I don't sound sick don't mean that I'm not. I know my disease. I know that it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. And this is where it takes us, y'all. This is how we get better. This is how we get better. You know, so understand that. If you have somebody that's in recovery in your family that used to be what you saw, you know what I mean? Some of us can't let go what we saw and what they done, you know what I mean? But then when they see what they look like, sometimes you like them better than what they was. You know what I mean? This is how the mind works on people. The construction of what you have to learn and you have to fix within yourself. You know what I mean? Oh, just because you done got clean don't mean you this and you that. You can't tell me what I am and what I'm not. I know what I am. You follow what I'm saying? And I know how to listen today, and I hear what you're saying. You follow what I'm saying? It's like, damn if I do, damn if I don't. You didn't like me when I was getting it in. Now you don't like me because I got it in. You follow what I'm saying? But I love me no matter who or what or where or whatever you think about me. You know what I mean? You won't make me feel shame. You won't make me feel like I'm still nothing of what you called me nothing, because I'm everything of something. You understand? Because I got a higher power greater than myself who has restored my sanity and steady restoring my sanity. And I believe in my higher power. That's why you see change. You know what I mean? You might can't handle my change, but guess what? I'm loving my change. You know? So if I seem weird, if I seem crazier to you, so be it. I feel great to me, and I feel beautiful to me. You follow? I know that I'm honest with me today. You follow? I know and see all the masks that you wear too, but do I throw that up in your face? You know what I mean? Because I will read you up and down. You know, but it's not worth it because I have to use my energy for myself. So that's why I make the rational decision to say, I'm good. It's not what I want to be around. It's not what I want to do. You know what I mean? I know how to walk away from that. I know how to put you D if I need to put you D. You know, because the old me ready to punch you in your head. You follow what I'm saying? The new me are going to pray for you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pray for you. You follow? I hope you see what you're doing. Hope you see your shit. You follow what I'm saying? Because I definitely see it. You know, and I'm going to tell you, look, you need God if something's going on with you. You know what I mean? I can even walk away today. You know, you could throw sticks and stones at me and I could walk away. You follow what I'm saying? Because it doesn't bother me today. You can't hurt me. You can't hurt me with what I used to be or what I used to do. You know, because I love who I am today. You follow? And I know that I'm better. And I know that I'm greater than what I used to be. I know that I'm a better person. I don't care what your blind eyes see. You follow what I'm saying? I can see clearly now the rain is going. I can look at me and see the change. You know, not only that, I feel the change. You know, and I am the change and I'm still changing. You know, I haven't lost my direction because I still live by the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous. And I know that I have a higher power greater than myself. You follow? That tells me that I'm beautiful every day. That tells me that I'm doing the right thing and continue to do this because you're doing what I choose for you to do, not what people think of you, of what you should be doing. How about that one? I see them hearts, my sister. You know I love them hearts. And again, y'all, if anybody want to support me with stars or today, I would be very grateful. And if you want to send me, you know, any type of donation to the Cash App that I put on here, I appreciate that too. You know what I mean? Because yes, I'm trying to do the best that I can with living in my truth. Tracy Allen, living in my truth. And I'm most certainly going to honor all who comes on this show and share their strengths and hope with LMNT Award Part 2. You follow what I'm saying? So if you can, I will appreciate it. You know, I put the information on there, you know, and I know some people don't like to use their cards because that's what you use when you put stars in. But it is safe, just like if you use your credit card on, what you call it, what is it that everybody comes on? The, come on, somebody give me what I'm trying to say. On Amazon. You know, that's what I was trying to say, or anything else. But yes, y'all, we are all under construction. You know, nothing beats waking up sober and clean, you know, in the morning, feeling live, clear-headed, you know what I mean, ready to take on the day. That's what I do. You know what I mean? Because I know disease is coming. It never stops. I know something going to bump in the way, so I try to avoid it. You know, if it's coming on the left, I'm going to try to go to the right. If it's coming on the right, I'm going to try to go to the left. You follow what I'm saying? But what I'm going to do is keep the focus on what I need to do. You follow? You bring much peace and clarity, allowing you to appreciate the joys of your life. That's what sobriety does, y'all. It brings a lot of clarity. It brings a lot of joy. You know, it allows you to appreciate you for who you are and who you have become. So it allows you to love on others. You know what I mean? And allow you to want to help others. You know, I never thought in a million years that I would be a junkie. I never thought in a million years that I would even be a drug and alcohol counselor, and I've been that for 38 years. You understand what I'm saying? I never thought that I would be a person who has to fight a disease like this. You know what I mean? But I always knew, and I always gonna always know that as long as I have a God in my life, that I'm gonna whoop this disease butt for as long as I believe. You understand what I'm saying? For as long as I believe in my God, I'm going to whoop this disease down. I'm going to beat it down. You know what I mean? And I'm not going down with it. You follow? Not today. Today I could say that. I learned to live one day at a time, y'all. One day started my years. You understand? You know, it started with a second, became a minute, then it became an hour, then it became a day, then it became a month, and then it became a year. And then every day adds on to another day, another week, another year. You understand what I'm saying? And all this time that I've been clean from cocaine, it is just a blessing. Even alcohol, it's a blessing. It is a true blessing. And I feel every bit of it. Every bit of it. I praise God. Believe me, I do. I praise God my way. You know, I praise him my way because it's for me. You follow? You know, I want to tell y'all about the 3 C's of life. The 3 C's of life is choices, chances, and change. You must make a choice to make a chance, or your life will never change. This is all I've been talking about. You know what I mean? I know I talk and I go and I rub and I rumble, you know what I mean, through everything, you know what I'm saying? But I get that point out. I get you to understand because, see, whatever my heart says say that makes sense, I'm going to say it. Even if it switches up, you know, I'm always going to come back to the basic of where I began. You follow what I'm saying? Because all of this has something to do with all of this. Believe me when I tell you. It has something to do with all of this. It is so many pieces to the puzzles that's still in my head that's not connected, and I got to get them. I got to get them because it's only going to better myself. It's only going to make me feel better. It's going to make me love my God even more. You know, he gave me the task and I'm challenging it. And it's not even a challenge anymore. It's just a love of doing it. It's a pleasure to try to put the pieces to my puzzle back together again. Ain't that something? Because it's my head. It's my puzzle. It's my choices. It's my decisions. It's my life. You follow? It's all about me. All about me. And if you want to call me selfish, do that, because this is a selfish program that allows us to become who we are and to learn us, to teach us how to love ourselves. So yes, we have to be selfish and protect ourselves, but I'm not a selfish person in giving. I'm not a self person, you know what I mean? Something like that. You know what I mean? I'm just a selfish person in protecting me because I have to be. You know that disease of addiction has no face. That's crazy. That's so true. It don't have no face. I don't even know what the shit look like. I can't tell you what disease look like. You follow? Because I only hear it. I never see it. Never saw it. I only hear it. You know? It's mental. I only hear it. We hear it. We don't see it. If it looks like what it makes us become, damn. You follow? Thanks, Mary, for the star. I appreciate it. You know? We don't see it. We only hear it. You know? It does not discriminate. I'm telling you, this thing don't discriminate. It's an equal opportunity destroyer. That's what it do. An equal opportunity destroyer. It's cunning, it's baffling, and it's powerful. I hope y'all hear me tonight. I really hope y'all hear me. You know, because this needs to be heard. Trust the process. This is what I can tell you. Trust this process. Good things have a way of showing up unexpectedly, one day at a time. Don't rush it. Let it happen and let it surface. But just stay mindful. You know, because the voice overrides the voice. Disease is the voice. But your higher power, God, is the voice. And it definitely sounds better. His voice definitely feels better. You follow? So without him, I'm nothing fighting this disease. But with him, I'm powerful. And so are you. So if you in there and you still hollering, you know, I don't know, I'm this. Hey, look, don't waste time. Don't waste time dying. Don't waste time, you know, losing yourself slowly without seeing it, making you feel like it's nothing and you can't see it, you know, because if you poisoning yourself, it's no different than us out there hustling. It's no different than us out there, you know, doing the things we do. You just don't want to get to that point. And most people feel like they can and they won't. I was one of those people. And I did. Don't let anyone who has not been in your shoes tell you to tie your laces. Because it's not easy. It is not easy. You got to learn how to tie them laces again. You know, people say all kinds of stuff. Oh, you can do it. All you got to do is this. And all you got to do is that. Really? I tried this, that, was, is, when, all that. Didn't work. Didn't work. And it could be some of the same people who's doing the same dope, who's doing the same drinking, and feel functional at doing it. They're going to tell you how they handle it. We don't want to hear that. You can't handle it. You're not them. And they're not you. You have to do what you have to do for you. God will be the reason to inform you of what you need to do. Y'all got me? Try being informed on addiction instead of just opinionated about it. You want to be around people who knows, who lived it, who's done it, and who can help you change your lifestyle. You have to come to believe, you know, and don't forget that we're all under construction. It doesn't happen overnight. You know, it's a lot in this world that has to be fixed, including ourselves. You know, so today I'm fixing me, just as he said do. You know, your choice of sobriety will be the greatest thing you ever done for yourself. So know that getting better and living a drug-free lifestyle is possible. Don't feel like because you're drowning that you can't swim, because you can. You follow? You know, don't feel like you need to do it for somebody else, because you can't. You have to do this for self. You have to become selfish in a good way, not a stuck-up, stubborn way, like you are right now, drowning, you know, and you can swim. And it's never too late. It's never too late. So if you see somebody out there that is, who's this Shahida? Now, I don't have PayPal or I do have Zelle, but I never used it. But, you know, I appreciate you anyway. You follow? Once you feel like the drowning is about ready to do what it do and kill, you don't want to get to that part. You want to get up and learn how to swim before that happens. You know, and if you can say, yes, I want to go to rehab, or yes, I want to get help, you're starting to swim. You follow? You just got to stick with it, you know, and get to understand the 12 steps. I know you probably can't see this well, but the 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. You know, submit yourself to a rehab. You follow me? Or make meetings. Try some meetings. Meetings is everywhere. It's always a pamphlet somewhere. I have this one. You can take the your phone, and if you can see that, and you can snap this, and you can find meetings. This is in the Pennsylvania area right here. I don't have Delaware's yet, but I will get it. But you can also look it up. You know, y'all Google everything. Google them on your phone. Ask for NA meetings on Google and AA meetings, CA meetings. It's there. You know, you can also Google I believe the Zooms that are on there, the list of different programs and people who have NA meetings on these this Facebook thing. You know, this technology. Y'all know me with that mess. You know what I'm saying? You know, you can always inbox me. You know, messenger me. Messenger me. You know, if you need any information, or, you know, if I can help you in any way and lead you to the right, you know, information that you're looking for. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with getting better. You know what I mean? We're doing it everywhere. Everywhere. Recovery is everywhere. It started by Bill and Bob, 2 people. You know what I mean? And now it's everywhere. You hear me? Everywhere. If you need to get into a rehab, hey, look, call them. Go online. It's a 1-800 number. Call them. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with going into a rehab. Don't be ashamed. You know, hey, you're trying to save yourself. You're trying to swim. You know what I mean? And you got to do all this swimming, you know, from drowning to get to the top of the water. You follow? Nothing wrong with it. You know, because if you fight this fight, you know what I mean, and fight the power, you know, and admit, you know, that you're powerless over drug and alcohol, and your life has become unmanageable. You follow what I'm saying? And turn your life over to the care of the will of God. You know, I'm telling you, you're going to be safe. You're going to be safe. You're going to be swimming. And you're going to be swimming hard. You hear what I'm saying? And you're going to be swimming strong. You know? And that's what we need to do. Get honest about where you are in this addiction. Get honest about where you are being under construction. You follow? Get honest about you. You know, take an inventory on yourself. These are all the steps, you know, that I live in my life today. I just said step 1, 2, 3, and 4. You follow what I'm saying? You know, because I lived them, and I'm so, it's just a part of who I am. You know what I mean? Read the 12 steps, y'all. You know, you don't have to be an addict or an alcoholic. Read them. It'll help you too. You follow? It is a guideline to living a normal lifestyle. And that's just where it will take you. It is a great teacher, you know. So I'm going to say again, I'm going to give you guys some hearts first. You know, last week we sat around and I was able to chat with a lot of us on here. But when it's, you know, this many people, it's kind of hard for me to get to do it. But I'm going to go through some of it, you know what I mean, and see what I can catch. If anybody said anything. I love the hearts, y'all. Thank you so very much. Hey, Jackie, KK, Mary, hey, niece. Hey, King. I didn't know you was on here. Marley, hey, Mar. Y'all, thanks for coming on. Pamela, thank you. Benita, I love you so much. You know, just give my love to your mom. You know, Beverly, that's my sis. Edwina, Stewart, thanks for coming on, girl. You know, hey, boo. Thanks for coming on. Veneer, Gilda, love you, Gilda. You know you got to come sit on the couch, girl. You know, I'm going to call you. You know, Barb, Cynthia, she outside. My girl, Rebecca, Rabia, love you so much. You know, Debbie, thanks for coming on. I appreciate everybody who comes on this live. You know, share this information. You know, hey, Jackie, you know, Adrian, it's so many people. You know what I mean? And every week there's different people and more people. I just appreciate it. So I know my will of what God asked me to do is being done. You know, hey, Brandon, Treese, you know that's my girl. Treese, that's always, you know, Teresa. Teresa was one of the first of all who has helped me to, you know, get to where I am today on Living in My Truth. I appreciate you so much. You still haven't picked your gift up though yet, you know, but I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody who sent me stars tonight. You know, my Cash App is money sign number 4 letter U by Tracy. You know, if you want to send me a donation or gift, you know, for Living in My Truth, I appreciate it and very much be grateful and thankful that you did. I know it's getting a little late now. I'm going to let you guys go, you know, and again, there's some great guests that will be coming on. You know, it's going to be awesome. Y'all keep tuning in, and I appreciate you. And thank you so very much. I'm going to leave with the serenity prayer. God grants me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not ours. Again, y'all, just know that we're all under construction in one way or another. You know what I'm saying? And just, you know, take inventory on self. You know what I mean? Pray, ask God to reveal what you need to fix. You follow? And it works if you works it. So, Debbie said, oh, okay, Debbie, you were saying blessed tonight. I'm going to see y'all. I will see y'all next week. Okay? Thanks, everybody. And I will see you next Wednesday at 7, God's will.